Stop following me. You're basically my shadow. It's probably something you told or were told by someone who followed you everywhere. You get up to go to the restroom. They have to go too. You get up to go get seconds. They do too. As annoying as it is, your annoying friend is not as nearly as horrifying as his next tale. Enter college freshman Aaron. Aaron was your typical jock, over 6 feet tall, built like a stone wall, and was generally a good-looking guy, but a douchebag to all of those who he deemed unworthy of his respect and or mercy. He would pick on the nerds who played D&D in the college commons area and destroy their sets. He would take their costumes and shove them into the toilet after relieving himself after picking out at the local taco restaurant, and he would spit into their rulebooks. I guess you could say he never really left high school. One day, however, one of the D&D members, Christina, finally had enough of Aaron's crap. On one Friday, she was dressed up all in black, and when Aaron came for his daily bullying session, Christina surprised Aaron from a corner and threw a concoction of goat, pig, and crow blood with a secret dash of her own blood all over Aaron. She proceeded to point her index and middle finger at him and say,
"For you were once a ruler, considered yourself to rule everything. Now, the darkness will consume you until you are nothing."
With pure disgust, Aaron shouted back,
"What the hell is your problem, you stupid dungeon nerd? I just got this shirt and you got your fucking period blood all over it? You're gonna owe me a shirt or I'm gonna take something by force."
"Get back, you beast!"
Christina reached into her breast pocket and threw a small bag of black ashes into Aaron's face. He coughed and he wheezed and was temporarily blinded. He swung at the air hoping to land a punch on Christina, but she had already vanished into the adjacent English building. When Aaron managed to catch his breath, he was all alone. No Christina, no D&D group, just him by his lonesome. He decided that since he couldn't bully his normal targets, he went back to the gym by the football field. While he was doing his bench presses, he caught a dark figure staring at him. This figure was dark as the night. The skin of the dark figure was dark as ashes, as if the figure had just escaped from a burning building. The figure had a twisted smile and eyes as wide as a junkie high on speed. The eyes were bloodshot and yellow and had dark red irises. The limbs, if you could call them that, were just long tree branches with sharp knives for fingers. This figure had to be at least 2 feet taller than Aaron. Aaron placed the bar down and stood up angrily.
"What the hell are you looking at, you creepy fuck? What, do you think that's scaring me? Come on, I'm not scared of you and your little make-believe D&D fantasy bullcrap. Ooh, scare me. Okay, I cast 30 white magic and deal 600 damage in OH. Then I'll cast an invisibility spell, so now you can go fuck yourself. Get the hell out of here before you get your ass kicked."
The figure just stood there with that giant ear-to-ear grin. The figure opened its mouth and spewed out an ash cloud all over Aaron. The figure then began to speak.
"So you're the one they call Aaron. The one who tortures the innocent. The one who thinks that just because of your size that you can just take what you want? You're nothing but trash that needs to be incinerated into dust."
What the hell did you say to me? You seriously want this, don't you? Okay, fuck it. There's nobody around to save your scrawny ass anyways. Fine, here comes the haymaker.
The figure absorbed the blow as if it were nothing. He stared down at Aaron, and his fist was now stuck in the figure's body. Aaron grunted and yanked as hard as he could, but his hand was stuck. The figure's black, ashy body had sealed Aaron's hand within. Aaron could slowly feel the pressure around his fist tighten and tighten. He could feel all of his fingers breaking individually. Aaron wanted to scream, but the figure jammed a black ball of dead crows into his mouth.
Go ahead. Scream all you want. Nobody can hear you. Just like how you made sure nobody could hear the cries of those you tormented. In fact, didn't you threaten me with physical pain with nobody around to come save me? Feel their pain, Mr. Aaron.
Just then, the figure's body tensed up and with one swift motion, crushed Aaron's hand and broke every bone in his hand and his wrist. The figure released his hand and the ball of crows in his mouth had vanished. When Aaron managed to take a peek at it, his hand looked like grocery store ground beef. Aaron ran out of the gym, leaving his belongings behind while the figure cackled demonically behind him. Aaron ran across the football field in the hot, sweltering summer sun, shouting for help, but nobody was around. The sun was to the left of him, and he was casting a shadow to the right. His shadow then contorted to the shape of the figure as he was running. His shadow turned its head toward Aaron, and from the corner of his eye, Aaron's shadow had now completely turned into the dark figure. His shadow suddenly had that wide, toothy grin.
Going somewhere, Aaron? Are you trying to call for help? Go ahead. Scream as loud as you want to. My summoner Christina has ensured that nobody can hear you screaming. All people will see is a big, dumb jock running around like a chicken with its head cut off.
What the fuck are you, man? Look, I'm sorry, okay? I was just trying to toughen them up because they spent all their time playing that stupid game and not being outside and getting strong like...
Like what? Like you? Someone who tries to prove how strong they are by picking on the weak?
That is not a sign of being tough. That is the sign of being a coward.
Aaron's macho attitude suddenly faded, and he was engulfed in fear. The figure hissed and spit out a black, tar-like substance all over Aaron's crushed hand, and it began to slowly dissolve it. Aaron fell to the floor, screaming in agony. The sound and the smell of burning flesh filled Aaron's ears. Aaron then crawled over to the shaded area next to the snack bar.
Suck it, bitch. You lose. No shadow, no entry. I'm safe here, and I can wait here as long as needed.
Aaron's cocky attitude was short-lived when the figure spread out its arms and impaled them into the brick walls of the snack bar. The figure slowly approached Aaron, and soon the figure's body stretched out and took over the shadow. Aaron was completely and utterly trapped in the figure's presence.
Fool. Don't fight what you know you can't kill. Look at you. Cowering like the little man you are. I think it's time to cut you down a size. You don't deserve to walk as tall as you do. You deserve to crawl like the filthy worm you are.
The figure hovered over Aaron's legs, engulfing them in the darkness of his being. The figure laughed maniacally as he used his body to slowly tear his legs off from his knee downward. Aaron felt every single tear of his skin, every single tear of his muscle fibers, every single tear of his nerves. All Aaron could do was sit there and take it because the figure pushed him against the wall. The figure even managed to shatter Aaron's shoulders and clavicles. Out of nowhere, the figure stopped and went back to its, quote, normal size. From the shadows, out walked Christina.
You did this to me, you little bitch!
Silence, pig!
The figure then covered Aaron's mouth with its hands and broke Aaron's jaw. Aaron's jaw was so agape. It was bleeding and his tongue was hanging out. Aaron was screaming through the figure's cold grasp.
For 3 whole months, my friends and I have had to endure your torture. We had to buy new figures, replace all the costumes you soiled, and check ourselves into therapy because of you. Now, We have the power, and you will no longer hurt us or anyone again. This time, you will be the little bitch.
Christina was about to give the order for the final blow, but Aaron's two friends came from behind the gym. Christina and the figure both vanished into thin air. When Aaron's two friends found him, they were shocked at what they saw. They called campus security, who then proceeded to call 911. Aaron was rushed to the hospital and underwent a lengthy 12-hour surgery. When Aaron woke up 2 days later, his friends were at his side. They messed around, joking how they could no longer do things to him while he slept, which included drawing male genitalia on his face. They told him that the doctors said he would be released within another day and to get some rest. No sooner than they left, Christina appeared out of nowhere. Aaron reached for the call nurse button, but she already had it in her hands.
No. Not going to get help this time. Oh, how I've waited for this moment, to have you all vulnerable, with nowhere to run. Now, it is time to finish what I started.
She began to mumble under her breath, and without warning, Aaron's chest began to hurt, as if he were being crushed. Then, as if similar to a rabbit in a magician's hat, the figure's long arm shot out of Aaron's mouth. Aaron could do nothing but sit there and choke and gurgle on his own blood. Then, another hand exploded out of his mouth. His heart monitor was going off the charts. The two hands then proceeded to tear Aaron in literal front and back halves. His innards and his blood shot everywhere around the room. His intestines fell to the floor. His stomach slowly dissolved. It was a truly gruesome sight. And then, the figure consumed the two halves and disappeared into the ground. Everything was back to normal. Clean. Christina's eyes suddenly turned black, and she then collapsed onto the floor of the hospital room. Dead. My words of advice, my friends. Never bully anyone, because your karma may just follow you, like a shadow, like the dark figure.